Hello and welcome. Hopefully, this is going to be a fun new series that everyone enjoys. We're going to be jumping into a Dyson Sphere Program, which is currently in early access. Was released last Thursday. That was on the not getting my dates correct. The 21st. And so figured on there already tons of walkthroughs and playthroughs right now, but I wanted to give my own little spin on it and just dive into a game that I've been clocking quite a few hours in already. I only did a little bit because I purposefully didn't wanted to be surprised with this series. So I didn't go too far into it, and so it will be more of a discovery, hopefully, with everything. So near the beginning is going to be stuff I already know, but as we unlock stuff, it's going to be fun figuring out how mechanisms work and all that. So let's get into it. All right, for those who don't know, Dyson Sphere is pretty much, if you heard of like Factorio and Satisfactory, that type of genre where you build factories, get resources, build more factories to produce higher level things with base materials, and so on and so forth. And while Satisfactory and Factorio, they have one map or one area that they work on, this sort of takes that and multiplies it by a ton, because as you see right here, we have a starting point, Ashara G-type star, and all these here are places we can visit. So it's a procedural, I can't even say it, but it's just randomized generated planets and resources, and we eventually will be capturing energy from all these stars to expand our conquest, so to speak. If you can't read it, I'm going to be posting the cluster seed down in the description below, in case you want to, if you like the map that this one is going to be generated at, you can play along as well. So I'll just go 3, 4, and 5, and all that. So right there, at default settings, you can do a resource multiplier, but we're just going to keep everything as default for right now. We'll just start the game. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the actual universe. You may find it's different from our homeland. Should you be able to adapt to the laws of physics in a short time, I am your advisor and will help you through this mission. Everything here is yours. As one of Cosmo and the pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster step by step. By using the resources here to construct the Dyson Sphere to provide energy for the center brain to maintain homeland, starting from scratch. I have chosen a designated planet for you to start the mission, which has necessary resources for initial development. Now please drive the space capsule to the planet.
All right, so I'm holding down W, and I'm just moving the mouse, and that will move everything around. A little bit later, we'll have to utilize those controls.
Now you are about to reach the designated planet. This is Icarus, a lightweight industrial mecha with powerful functionality. You can use the arrow keys or right-click on the destination to control its movement. In this mission, you will manipulate Icarus to travel beyond the stars and create miracles.
All right. So right click.
Now try to
move.
recycle the space capsule. Right-click on it to recycle.
You can right click. You can right click just like a strategy game, or if you wanted to, use ASWD for movement. I'm gonna close these out. Let's dismantle all this.
You can use the same operation to collect resources, such as trees, gravel, etc. In the meantime, hold down Shift and right-click to give a series of commands. You receive several items after recycling the space capsule. Click the inventory button in the lower right corner of the screen to open the cabin to view them.
Alright, inventory's down here, or the hotkey is E. One thing I do suggest for those who just got the game or just starting out, definitely get used to running the keys, because it's a little bit easier to navigate, because some of the hotbars
You can hold down mouse middle button drag to rotate the angle of view, or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Yeah, so you could zoom in and out like that, or if you wanted to move the mouse, I'm holding down middle mouse, that's how it is. But yeah, I do suggest getting used to controls and hotkeys.
Yet you have not unlocked the construction menu, which will be done automatically when complete any technology research. Click the technology tree button at the bottom right of the screen to open the technology tree and activate a research.
All right. Here is the technology tree. Pretty fun. Once you start getting into things, this is where you unlock buildings and research materials to get higher end stuff. Then upgrades. Definitely don't snooze on these at all if you can. They're not high priority, but I guess they take third priority, so to speak, because there are things that will help, like getting your max energy for your mecha. That's very helpful, especially since you'll be walking around near the beginning parts of this mission and all that. Just having extra energy is going to be nice. And then just all this here we'll be able to, we'll explain a little bit more after that. But yeah, definitely don't snooze on the upgrades. But right now we're going to look under here. We're going to research so we can unlock the wind turbines, Tesla tower, and the mining machines. These are pretty much the bread and butter for the beginning section of the game. All right, so now what's going to happen is, see, this is by default. So if it's unchecked, I highly suggest checking it. Very useful, because whatever you build in your inventory, it'll pull and use those resources. So here we need to build magnetic coils, but if you press F on your keyboard, or go right here, replicator, if you want to click here, you'd see the magnet coil. And so it takes 2 magnet rings plus copper ingots to make 2 of these. And so you can just we'll build 5 of these, 5 individual pieces, and they'll make 10, which will make that. You can choose a 1 option, 2 times, 3 times, all the way to up to 10 if you want, just so you're aware of that as well. But I'll just go click on that, and there we go. And as you see there, it's in my inventory, but then it's being pulled into this research. So we'll just close out of that and just wait for the next prompt. I'll just gather some materials while we wait for this next part of the tutorial.
You have created a mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation. Pick it up from the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
It's right there. So I am not going to be putting it right here. This is iron. This is an iron vein, very helpful. But right now I want to find a spot where there's iron as well as copper together, because if you remember here, it requires magnets which required from iron, but also needs copper ingots. So if you try to have two nodes together, it's a little bit easier instead of having to spend a lot of resources building conveyor belts across the map and all that. So we're just going to do a little bit of exploring around real quick and see where we go. Also, if you notice in the bottom corner, our mecha's core energy is going down because we're walking around. The way to refill it is if you press C on your, or over here, the mecha panel. Trees as well as shrubbery plant fuel is a way of re-energizing the mecha. So all you do is either drag and drop, or if you hold down shift and left click with your mouse, it automatically goes there. Very nice to do. And so as you can see right here is building back the energy, but also using that. So building things, walking around costs energy. And as you see there, we're flying. Not walking around. Walking actually is one of the few things that doesn't, but flying, building takes resources. So we're just going to walk around, figure out where we are going. Coal veins. Oh, these are really good. Let's go gather a little bit of coal. Because coal is actually a pretty good stand-in, better than trees and foliage actually for energy wise. So we'll gather a bit. Soon we'll be getting coal like left and right, so we can sort of get coal section and just pull it. But we'll just do maybe up to maybe 25, then we'll pull one more. There we go. There we go. We should have some good energy now. There's stone nodes right there. Alright, so there is some copper right there. Hopefully there's going to be some iron as well. We cannot fly right now, but that's one of the upgrades that you can get a little bit later. It's very early game, so you can fly a little bit, but this is what I'm talking about. Here's some iron veins as well as some copper. Probably not as much copper as I wanted, but at least these are a little bit together, and this is where we'll put our home base. Oh, and there we have some coal too. Perfect. All right, so let's just clear out this area a little bit. And what I'm doing is, if you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm holding down shift and then right clicking, and you can sort of tell your mech to do certain things in a particular order up to a certain cap. I don't know off the top of my head how many entries you can do, but as you see, it's helpful. And the coal right here takes a little bit longer to burn through, so that's why I like using coal instead of actually trees and wood, because it doesn't burn as quick. But if you need to run stuff, definitely can. Also, organic crystals, and those are really nice to have. You can also consume it in your mecha, but I would say just keep on to those if you can get that, because it will be helpful a little bit later down the road. Also, in case those who've been noticing what this is a hydrogen fuel rod. As you see, takes titanium and then some weird atom. We won't be covering that quite yet, but these here will be, those actually help boost your mecha as well, but it consumes very quickly. So if you happen to use that, just know that you won't be using it. We'll be able to make more until a little bit later. So I suggest using this for emergency purposes only, because there's, as you see here, plenty of resources, trees and bushes to keep your mecha alive. If you're low, you go down to 0, your mecha just walks slow. It doesn't die and is GG in game. It just makes it slower and you can't build as fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the map a little bit here, and I'm going to do gather in the hotbar, or just press 2. I like doing that, and then F1.
You can use the R key to rotate the mining machine for covering more veins.
Like
The
so.
more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered. If you want to ignore grid snapping, try holding down the shift key.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try to restrain myself from comparing this to Satisfactory, which is, again, I mentioned in the beginning of this gameplay. I really don't like comparing games, but this will be hopefully my final comparison and all that. But Satisfactory has this way of, the term is load balancing, and so making sure everything is flowing correctly instead of pretty much just having your belts full and just stagnant, while like load balancing, you can just have things constantly moving, and some people like it, some people don't. But what I figured out, at least with my little bits of testing and all that, is that per node here, if you cover 2 nodes, there's going to be some buildings that you can research. Let's start working on that right now. They're right here. The smelter. It takes, at least from what I've experimented with, I could be totally wrong, but it takes 1 smelter per 2 nodes. So let's say we're covering 4 nodes right there. We'll need 2 smelters to have a consistent flow working and all that. But if you don't really care about that, just cover as much bases as you can here. And so right there, let's see, that is 5, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's just do that. So 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, that's pretty good, actually.
One of your production facilities is not powered. You need to keep it within the power coverage area and supply it with power facilities in order to maintain its normal works.
All right, they're going to show us power, but right now I'm going to do this. We're going to unlock, we're first going to unlock the conveyor belts as number 1. This will be our number 2. We don't need assemblers quite yet, nor this yet. Those are going into a little bit of advanced stuff. See this cube here gets unlocked using this, but we're not going to touch that quite yet. So there's the up here is the line of order, how things get researched. So we're going to do this conveyors, that, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do matrix. We don't really need hydrogen right now. We don't really need this quite yet. Sure, we could unlock some engines. We'll go to our upgrades. Actually, what I'll do is this. I'm going to cancel this. I just right clicked with my mouse in case you were wondering how I did that. I went to upgrades, and I'm just going to choose the mecha max energy increase as the second slot. I'll put that as the last. So we'll put this as 3rd, 4th, 5th. We'll put this as 6. That's already in queue. And we'll put the engines next. There. All right. So what we'll need is cogwheels and circuit boards. So let's take a look at our inventory. We have some of that. Cogwheels. We can build 10, but then we also need circuits, which this produces 2 per. So we can build, let's do this. Let's gather a little bit. Actually, no, let's just go with this tutorial a little bit. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to put the
You have done
fan,
building the first power transmission
wind
facility,
turbine, right
Tesla Tower.
here.
It can carry out short-distance wireless power transmission and expand the power supply area of the power grid. Click on it to view the current power grid information.
Okay, so
Wind turbine. You have established your first power grid. Not all power facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
Okay. Then you can click on these and you can see the power load. Right now it's generating a max of 300 kilowatts. Right now the consumption demanded is 420. So we're a little bit behind. So we need to sort of create more. Oh, no, drop down. Okay. So now we're in good satisfaction levels because it's not being used. The mining machines take max of 50. Before like so once it hits 50, it cannot be used. But a little later, we don't have to worry about that. But just an interesting piece of trivia. And let's see. So let's go ahead and create 10 of these right there, and then we'll create there. Now, one nice thing about this is that I did not create the iron ingots. I only had the iron ore, but the game is nice to where it automatically converts the iron ore into the materials you need. So it's helpful to actually have the pieces already made, but in a pinch, if you just, like, let's say you're desperate and you need to create something real quick, just get the base materials like iron and copper, like grab it a little bit, and then just let the game generate it. Again, it just takes a little bit more time to do it, but is definitely feasible if you need to on the fly do that.
You have received the sorter and the conveyor belt, which can achieve full automation now. Use the conveyor belt to transport the piled up ores from the mining machine, and the sorter can deliver the ores from the conveyor belt to the smelter for automatic smelting.
Alright, so let's clear out this area a little bit more. Because I'm going to be building my smelters there. And then let's go ahead and we can make 20 of these. Oh, we made 25. And then we are out of copper, so we'll just run around here and run here real quick and grab 20. 1 ore per ingot. So once we hit the 20 mark, we'll build it real quick and get our increase of our energy capacity real quick, and then we'll get on to smithing, so we can get a smelter going and be able to smelt instead of having to gather stuff. Cool. Or I'll just go 10. Done. And there you go, it's going there. So what we need to do next, I'm going to go into my tree. Looking at this, so we'll need metal coils plus circuit boards. So what I'll do is I'll start gathering this while this is building, because circuit boards require copper, which we'll need, but also we should have enough iron ore. We'll just pull 50 and get 60, and then we'll go from there. But I'm just going to stockpile a little bit while we're waiting for this to go down. And once it starts researching and all that, we'll build another miner for the copper, so then we can just don't have to worry about coming here. You can just pull it. Okay, so see our ore energy increased. We're good to go there. Go ahead and gather this. Oops, sorry. Went too far. And we need 10 of these. There's 10, and then right there. But then what we're going to do is how much. So see here, what we can do is with the materials left over, we'll just build 1 of those. And so it takes about, it's going to take a minute until we actually complete everything in our inventory. While we do that, let's go ahead and start building our conveyors.
When putting a conveyor belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up 1 level, and use the down arrow key to drop down 1 level after the conveyor belt is lifted. Press keypad 0 to reset the construction height of the conveyor belt to the ground. If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key.
Yeah, so one nice thing about this is that you can worry about how high these go, so you can go above buildings and all that. It's quite fun. All right. We should be getting 2 smelters in a little bit. Cool. And then we'll get that going. We need 10 of these. Get that going. So over here in production 5, we can get smelters. So again, 2 per node. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll need 1 more smelter. We can. So we can have the most efficient movement of stuff. We'll let that go, but we'll start building. Let's see here. And again, sometimes you'll have to tear down, so don't sort of be fully committed to everything, because you'll be definitely tearing things apart, redoing it. Again, rebuilding, moving things around.
You built a smelter, which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically, while you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously. You need to use sorters and conveyor belts.
Alright, so around this point, I would suggest let's start expanding our
You have
energy.
a building without recipe set. Please set the recipe you want. After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
Go like that. Wait for that to go. Alright, so what he's talking about here is if you click on the smelter, click on the little cogwheel, then you can choose what we want to build. So right now we're just wanting to go with the iron ingots. Then what you could do is you can copy, which is that.
After selecting the recipe,
Paste.
you can use the less than key
Paste.
to copy the recipe
Paste.
and the greater than key
Yeah.
to paste the next
little
building
bit
that needs
easier
to
to do
set the
that.
same recipe.
I am pretty bad at remembering that hotkey for that, so I just usually click in. It's no big deal. Alright, so we're going to go to our power, and we're going to expand our wind turbine power grid. There. So now instead of 300, we're at 900. So that should be enough, but also we'll need to build this real quick. Reason being is, see here, this little icon, that means it's not in power range. Right there, with the circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a Tesla as soon as it gets built. We'll put a node here, so then that covers. And I think we should, yeah, our smelter here. Here we go. Eventually we'll be able to cover this here. Alright, so that is 2, 4, 6. We squeeze another? No. 2, 5. Or want to have a balance if possible. So if it means that I might lose some production, I'm okay with that. Okay. We'll need to build more of these so we can expand. So we can expand to here and start getting the iron ore going. But also we need to start working on our research here. Well. So let's go ahead and then let's go ahead and get maybe 4 of these, maybe 1 more of those. There. Alright. So now that we have the conveyors, got mouse work for me. Now how do we get the ore to here? That is an excellent question. If you go into logistics and go here to the sorters, they actually pull from the conveyors into the
sorter
devices.
is a transportation connector of cargoes between facilities. It will automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving facility are bridged.
There you go. The reason I am not connected quite yet, because I sort of like prepping everything first before I actually start the production of everything. But because I want to make sure we have power, which we will do now. Let's put it maybe, yeah, that, no. Yeah, I'll cover here and I'll put the conveyor belts one more rung here, so we'll put it right here because they cannot run into that. We'll put that, we're a little bit low. Just going, get that. There we go. I want to expand it here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build well, actually, hang on. So to get to this dismantle option, you can go either click here or I'm just pressing X. So it's just a little bit easier to be able to drop things a little bit quick. There. I'm trying to see if I can be efficient with coverage, but let me do this. Let me go one more. Yeah, let me do a blank there. That way I can put that in between. There we go. Put that one crossed. The reason why I'm not going to the other side is because there are three little, come on, mouse, work for me. Three sections that you can put your connectors in. And so usually what I don't, just a little bit overhang is not really needed. So I just put it in the middle there. So then it'll be nice and easier. It just looks a little bit more symmetrical. Like so. All right. And then I'm going to put it right about there. And then I'm going to 4. Oh, we need a storage. I thought it would have given us a storage, but apparently not. And then paste. Paste. Like so. We have our storage right here. Doesn't really matter. We can put that there so we can save up on.
You built a storage,
There.
which can be used to store cargo. You can manually store or use the sorter to automatically stock the cargo.
All right, so here we go. Now that will start going. Oh, whoops. My bad. Forgot about these. Oh no! That means the power usage is low, is being overtaxed right now. Here. See, we're at megawatts now. That's fine. It's just going to grumble at us for a little bit until we expand. Should be fine. That's covering everything. So there you go. So now we can just pull it instead of having to have the computer generate it for us. So let's go ahead and build some more turbines. Right, we need to get copper. Oh, perfect. We got enough. Need foundation, okay. There. There. Then we'll expand up to here and there. There we go. Alright, so this one here will need a matrix. We'll explain that a little bit later. Let's see, what kind of other fun stuff can we build? We need those engines. Oh, here we go. We can increase our inventory. I mean, we could do that a little bit later. And so there's a flight option. Oh, we can get the coal too. So we'll do that. Yeah, let's just do that. No, we need that red. Well, what about technologies? Are we on that? Yeah, we'll start getting that going. Look at this. I do suggest just take it nice and slow unless you're trying to speed run this. Definitely take it slow. You don't want to expand too quickly in this game, because otherwise you're not going to have facilities set and ready for you and all that. So I do suggest, if you can, definitely do that. Alright, so now that's going. Now we're at 100 stacks. That. Let's work on our smelting. So let's go ahead and grab some copper. And how many nodes over here? 4. So that's 2 smelters. Oh, hang on. I think we need to... Right. Let's do this. Let's do this. We need those those magnets. I think what we could do is have let's build another storage unit. I'll just make 3 because I can. Wait for this. We'll put 2 as plates and then the other ones for magnets. So we'll put it 1 right there. Yes, I am a little bit OCD. Don't worry about that. That there. That there. Here we go. So let's go ahead and split that off. There. Let's just go ahead and dismantle that. Yes, you can if your inventory is big enough, whatever is in the storage containers when you dismantle it, it will get sent to your inventory already. But if it will exceed it, it will tell you. We'll do that. We'll change this to magnets. Change that to magnets. F4. And can these reach? Aha, perfect. There we go. Cool. All right. So now we have, again, we're going to expand, and this is definitely going to change as we go, but at least we have that going for us now. And let's go ahead and grab some of those magnets and see what we were trying to do. Oh yeah, smelters. We had 4 nodes, I think. So we'll make 2 smelters right there. Assemblers. are pretty much taking two of the materials. So with this magnets and copper ingots, combine them to make magnet coils. So right here, if you just click into it, you can see what's required to make it. So we'll need to grab some of the iron ingots that we'll smelt, as well as these magnets that we're going to pull from, and then probably have an assembler maybe right around here-ish. To get all the materials and produce it so we can get magnets. Then we don't have to wait as long. We can just pull magnets from our storage containers and all that fun stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so our smelters should be all done. We'll have to expand it a little bit here, unfortunately, because of the water. We should have enough right there. Gonna estimate. Again, not gonna start it quite yet because I want to make sure that we're all set to go. Storage container is going to be right there, but I'm going to put it right here, knowing that that's where the conveyors will end. And then we're going to do that. Copy, paste, done. How many sorters? I don't have any sorters. We'll need, let's just make 10. Good round estimate there. Sorters don't take long to build. There. Perfect. We have like so. Now we should be able to get copper ingots now. So we'll boop boop. Gadoosh. So see how everything is moving, constantly moving and all that? If you had one, it would be frozen, not be moving at all. But that's why some people have been able to make it where it's consistently moving, where there's a gaps in between, and it consumes exactly how many it needs per second. I'm not that smart. And so if you're looking for tips on that, I would suggest looking at other people's videos for that. Alright, we're getting near the end of this video. It's going to be a 45-minute video, I know, but it's usually intro videos are a little bit longer because we're trying to establish the narrative, so to speak. Trying to establish our basis. I want to get an assembler set up at least so you can at least see the magic happening before we call it a day. So I'm just going to put an assembler right here, just so we can have room for more if we need to. It seems like we need more turbines. I'll just max that out. And I'll just start pulling from there. Go there. And we'll just snake around right about there. How are we on energy? Okay. Then we'll choose to make magnets. Then we'll use this. Jump across.
You can now click the planet thumbnail button in the lower left corner of the screen, or press the M key to try the planet view mode.
There we go.
In the planet view mode, you can hold down the middle mouse button, drag, rotate the angle of view, and hold down the right mouse button, drag to roll the angle of view. Press N key to point to the front to the North Pole.
Alright. Start expanding our turbine generators. There. 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 And there. Get that going. Going drones. We're on a timetable here. Now we hit the 3 million megawatts, and so not million megawatts. That'll be crazy. But we're balancing a little bit. We'll probably need a few more turbines, but I think this will be good for right now. And then, do we have another storage unit? No. Okay. Let's start pulling our resources out. Here they come. Again, the storage is just for temporary, just so you can see how it works. More. Pull. And now, there we go. We got magnets. Yay! So now we don't have to get the base materials there. If we need to get magnets, we just go to our storage unit, pull it, done. Make it a little bit simpler. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I know it's a much longer video than usual, but I'm going to try definitely shrink it down to a little bit more manageable size. But yeah, this is Dyson Sphere project. Going to be a fun series, hopefully. And I will catch you in the next video. Have a good one.